So there's this really troubling development in the States. College students, especially international ones, are being deported simply because they dared to voice opinions. It's not about crimes or even visa issues.
It's like a completely different agenda, right? They're essentially getting booted out for protesting or expressing their views on matters like war and human rights.
Exactly. I mean, come on, these are young folks who came here for a world-class education, believing in the American promise, only to be surveilled and then, well, deported because their opinions were deemed too risky.
That's shocking. And it's not just a one-time incident. It's becoming a regular pattern. The government is basically monitoring social media and flagging dissent automatically.
Right. It's like they're setting up a surveillance state on college campuses. Not only are the students being blacklisted, but these measures are applied under vague labels of national security.
Yeah. But, doesn't the government sometimes argue that certain issues require extra caution? I mean, how do we balance security and free speech?
Sure, there's always that argument, but when you restrict academic freedom to this extent, it starts to feel less like protection and more like a direct suppression of debate.
Absolutely. It's worrisome because universities are supposed to be, hubs of debate and progress. When you start punishing students for speaking up, you're basically chilling free thought.
Exactly. Academic freedom, the idea that learning, debate, and exploration should be unfettered, is now under siege. And it's not just foreign students. It affects domestic students too, indirectly.
Right. Yeah, and think about the ripple effects. Top minds from around the world start rethinking if America is still the beacon of knowledge and freedom.
Totally. It's like, imagine you're a promising student spending countless hours studying, paying thousands in tuition, all for a chance to contribute and innovate. And then you get hit with surveillance, secret hearings, and no formal evidence.
That's harsh. It just seems like a betrayal of what America stands for. I mean, isn't free speech supposed to be, the cornerstone of our democracy?
Precisely. When speech is only welcomed if it fits a certain political narrative, you're not defending your nation. You're weakening its very foundation.
Yeah, exactly. So these actions, deporting students for peaceful protest, are more about political gain than anything else?
Right. It appears to be more about appeasing specific political factions or perhaps feeding the culture wars rather than genuine national security concerns.
That's a strong point. But don't some argue that national security is just a cover for political repression?
Yeah, that's exactly what it seems like. The use of vague and secret evidence along with closed hearings really undermines what justice should look like in a free society.
Yes, indeed. I mean, is it any wonder that future innovators are starting to think twice about coming here? I mean, why risk years of study only to be deported for a tweet or a protest?
Exactly. And this is where the danger is twofold. Not only are we losing bright minds, but we're also sending a message that dissent, even constructive dissent, is dangerous.
It's like telling the next generation, hey, better keep your opinions to yourself if you want to stay safe.
Yes. And that crushing of intellectual freedom really hollows out our future. Universities, which should be sanctuaries for bold ideas and progress, are beginning to look like echo chambers where only safe topics are allowed.
Yeah, that's chilling. But here's what puzzles me a bit. Aren't these measures supposedly taken in the name of protecting national interests? It feels like there's a fine line here.
Absolutely, there's that argument, but it seems we're crossing that line. Protecting national interests shouldn't come at the cost of, silencing voices that challenge the status quo.
True. I mean, think of it as if you're trying to build a fortress, but you end up locking out the very people who can bring in fresh ideas that might help improve the structure itself.
Yeah, it's like you're constructing these high walls only to trap yourself inside. And aside from international students, our own domestic talent starts to learn that activism comes with a price tag.
Right, exactly. So we're really talking about a loss on multiple levels, losing the international appeal that once made American education so sought after, and also dampening the spirit of debate among local students.
Exactly. The detrimental effects are vast. We're not just losing innovation and progress, but we're also damaging America's reputation as a melting pot of ideas and intellectual freedom.
That sums it up. I mean, isn't the strength of a nation built on the clash of ideas, even conflicting ones?
Absolutely. Without dissent, without challenge, you risk stagnation. If you trade vibrant debate for fear and surveillance, you're essentially undermining the nation's backbone.
Totally. And that's the real tragedy, isn't it? We are not just deporting a group of students. We are, in a way, deporting our future and stifling progress.
Yeah, it's like sending a clear message that ideas and the courage to express them no longer belong here. And that compromises the very soul of what makes America a beacon of innovation.
Right. There's something so ironic about it. America has always prided itself on being a place where the free exchange of ideas fuels progress. Now, with actions like these, that legacy is at risk, huh?
Totally. And it's really problematic because short-sighted political gain shouldn't trump the long-term cultural and intellectual benefits of free debate.
Yeah, that's a point worth stressing. But here's a thought. Whether it's for security or not, don't you think that there should be clear, transparent procedures in place for any such actions instead of this secret evidence and closed hearings approach?
Absolutely, I agree. There needs to be due process and accountability. The current approach just looks like political expediency wrapped in the guise of national security, and that's a dangerous precedent.
I get that. Right. Because without transparency, we're setting a dangerous trend, one where dissent becomes equated with disloyalty, and that's just not how a healthy democracy should function.
Exactly. It's a slippery slope. Once you start targeting opinions, you're risking the very essence of what made the intellectual and cultural vibrancy of this nation so unique in the first place.
Indeed. So, what do you see as a way forward? How do we reverse this trend and restore academic freedom?
I believe it starts with bringing these issues into the light, public debate, holding officials accountable, and reaffirming that free speech and academic inquiry must remain untouchable.
Yeah, absolutely. It really boils down to reminding everyone that progress arises from the clash of ideas, and that the suppression of dissent will only, weaken not just a generation, but our entire future as a nation.
Exactly. It's a call, a rallying cry, to value curiosity, debate, and intellect above political expediency. When we deport students for speaking their minds, we are, in effect, deporting our future.
Right, for sure. Yeah, and it's up to all of us, academics, policymakers, and citizens, to push back against this erosion of our core values.
Absolutely. The time to reverse course is now, before the space for bold thinking is completely shrunk out of existence.
That's a message we need to keep echoing. Well said. It's been a thought-provoking talk. Hopefully it sparks further debate and action.
For sure. Let's keep protecting the arena for ideas, because that's what truly makes us strong.
Yeah, indeed.